You know, the way Greg does them, Greg Nicotero makes them like sick, dying, lost people behind the monster. So they don't really scare you, but you're kind of like, damn. Poor bastard.
Were you guys as actors just overwhelmingly impressed by the work of Greg Nicotero and his effects team? Yeah.
Whole nother level. Yeah.
Another question from the
Hi, over here. You guys are great. Love what you do. You guys are so good at what you do on the show. I was wondering if you had any advice for an aspiring young actor.
You always get drunk at a party.
Yeah.
You know, people ask me this question. Like, I think you have to go where the work is. You know, start there. I mean, they call it Hollywood for a reason. I don't live there. I did. I put my time in there, but what the fuck? Oh, there. That's awesome. Banging on my chin. I don't know.
Stick with it, man. Just. I guess it's like there's Lordy. There's I mean, this corny shit, I know he's gonna make fun of me about it later, but I don't really care. But like I care. But like this, I think there's gotta be really, there's highs and lows, like really big highs and lows, and you gotta dig that. You gotta accept that and dig that.
So we know how Shane and Daryl would fare in a zombie apocalypse, but how would Jon and Norman fare in a zombie apocalypse? Tell me about how you handle it and how long you'd last.
I mean, we've lost him. Yeah, you'd be like playing with sticks in the corner.
How would you do, Jon? You're a big guy.
Nah, man. I don't want to be in a zombie apocalypse.
Another question from the floor?
Hi, guys. You guys have both commented that you've read the comics, so I'm sure you've read the progression of Carl's character. Chandler Riggs, some of us, I'm sure a few of us have had a chance to meet him when he was here last year. He's a great little kid. What do you guys think about his acting quality going forward?
Sorry. Honestly, season 3, he's always been very serious and always a really good actor, but he went somewhere else this season. He's great. And hands down, he's one of my favorite characters right now. He's great. Is that the question?
Yeah.
Cool.
Over here at the back.
Hi. Jon, I really think Shane's character, you're absolutely right. You did get across the fact he was more right than wrong. He just went a little extreme, but survival instincts. But the question I really wanted to ask was, Norman, how did you get up that big-ass ravine when they're filming that, where you're wounded and you're trying to get up there and you're seeing your brother edging you on?
That day's funny. I mean, Rooker's fun to work with in the fact that he's always adding stuff, but he couldn't remember his lines that day, and I was hanging literally off of a tree branch with dirt that was straight up and down, and scorpions were walking by my face. And he's going, yeah, Darlene, I put on the thing, and the boom, what's my line? Yeah, that's what man, Merle, and that's what Darlene, the thing, and the dress. And I'm like, dude, say your lines, man, there's scorpions by my head right now. He's a force of nature, and he's an awesome actor, but that guy, he just free flows, like, I mean, it was fun, that episode, you know. And then they sent me to a taxidermist to learn how to cut open an animal, so it looks like I know what I'm doing. I cut the squirrel open, and I told that director that day, you know, when I was picking out it was chicken in the squirrel carcass that I was eating, and I'm like, can I get more fur on this, you know? And he's like, why? And I go, because I want to make like 20 million people all sort of throw up in their mouth at the same time. You know, it was a fun day.
Hi guys, big fan. Okay, I got a question for Norman. Who would win in a fight, Murphy McManus of the Boondock Saints or Daryl Dixon of Walking Dead?
You know, I think they probably both hit each other a couple times and then end up like at a bar getting drunk. I can't even see those two fighting at all. They'd just be like, fuck you, like you and me shots now. I think they'd hit it off pretty well.
Murphy versus Shane.
Shane. Murphy versus Bugs Bunny. Yeah, because I'd have to do it, and then I'd lose, for sure.
You Wonder Woman?
Okay, this might be putting you on the spot a little bit, but can you do impressions of each other's character?
Yeah, I'm shady and I'm sexy, the girls like me, and I'll beat your head off. And this shotgun will stick it up your butt, and I'll kill you, and fuck you. This will be better, right? You done killed my brother! Never up on that roof, my brother! Carl! That don't even fucking sound like you. I love the way he did that,
Hi guys. In the zombie apocalypse, what is the one thing you would miss the most?
South Park.
Sam?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, and the show. I was just wondering, how do you think that Daryl's going to change as a character, because he has changed without the influence of his brother around? I just rewatched season 1, and he's pretty racist. Your brother.
Right.
Carl. And I was just wondering how he's going to change as a character with that influence of his older brother around, now that he's developed these strong relationships with the group that he's with.
Well, I mean, I fought early on, you know, to be more of an Al-Anon member and less of an Alcoholics Anonymous member. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with racism and big bags of drugs and all this stuff, and I hated it. That's how I wanted the character to be. You know, and there was actually a scene that it was written that I take Merle's stash of drugs and start taking them, and Lori comes to me and I'm like, nah, fuck, get those drugs. You know, I'm like, F you, drugs. And I put my foot down, and I really didn't want to do it. I was like, no, that's what my brother did. That's why I hate it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I think the changes with Daryl aren't going to be, you know, anything like that, or I think they're more like people like me. Like, I can hang out here, you know. That guy's relying on me, you know. And I think that's the thing that makes him feel good about being with these people. Like, it's brothers and families and sisters that he never had. And, you know, it's good in TV that, like, in a movie you go from here to here, but in television, sometimes you can, like, drop these little seeds and they turn into little trees and turn into little storylines. So, you know, like when Carol leans down and kisses me on the forehead, I went like this, right? and now I'm an abused kid. You know what I'm saying? So people picked up on that and they helped write these things. So back when we did that, you'll notice there's like a bunch of scars on me. There's a storyline now. So I think it's more of a family type of situation. That makes any sense.
Norman, you've been a total badass since Boondock Saints. Are you working on any new project right now?
A total fat ass?
Badass.
You said
Whichever one
fat
you
ass.
prefer. Any other badass project that you're working on? Dream project.
I'm always working on a fat ass project. I mean, I'm just working on the show. I have a film I did with Naomi Watts and Matt Dillon, a little love triangle where I did it between 2 and 3, called Sunlight Junior. It was funny because my first line to Naomi Watts was, I can smell. Where's the kids? Where's the kids? Close your ears. Close up. I didn't say this because there's a bunch of kids in there. I said something about being able to smell a certain part of her through the window. Yeah, that's my first line. So, and every day I was like, I'm sorry about today, sorry about tomorrow. Yeah, that was a fat ass project.
And John, what can you tell us about LA Noire and why are you excited about this? The next project.
It's cool. It's cool. It's you know, it's like the mob and it's like the mob and in the 40s in LA and you know it's cool. Mickey Cohen and Bugsy Siegel and stuff and yeah, it's cool. I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Well, we do have to wrap up in a second.
You want to ask a really quick question?
One more.
Before my question, I have something to give Norman also.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like cake on a fork with my face on it. It says, this year, can I read it? It says, hi Norman, I'm your XX #1 fan. This year on my 11th birthday, you were on my cake and you were delicious. I can turn into a fat ass project. Thank you, babe.
Now that Shane's dead, how is Andrew gonna react to Shane's death? And also, how is Shane's death gonna affect Daryl as well?
Daryl always agreed with Shane, you know, so there was, you know, it was interesting because even just when I started the show, it was also, is this something I said? Where are you going? What the hell? Jesus. He always agreed with Daryl and Shane always agreed on the same things, and you know, the dynamic when I started on the show was very Shane and Rick already, you know, and it was all the other actors even looked to them for how's this? There's a lot of new people on the show that were kind of new to acting, you know, and then there weren't, but. It was sort of the dynamic. So I just noticed as the show started going on, like they included me on the looks, you know, like, okay, Rick, yeah, hold on, Rick, make a plan. And they'd include me. And I think that sort of outside the scene dynamic sort of got in the scene dynamic and became a dynamic. You know what I'm saying? You know, Shane's missed. You know, Daryl loves Shane, so, you know, we butted heads. But, you know, dudes will do that. Dudes will, like, beat each other up and be like, so what are you doing later?
Real badass man.
We do have to wrap it up now. We got to say goodbye. Any departing
Thank you guys.
Thanks everybody.